Subscribe. Subscribe.
So, you released Leviathan. I absolutely love it.
Thank you.
I'd heard of Therion before, but I'd never actually sat down and listened to you until this album. And I've got to say, it makes me think, why didn't I listen to you guys sooner? It's my kind of metal. I love it.
It's never too late, you know.
Absolutely.
Cool. I'm happy to hear those words. Thank you.
Yeah, and because it's kind of says in your press notes that you guys packed your Therion hits into this album. So how did you kind of go about trying to achieve that? Was it kind of seeing what fans responded to the most and going from there, or how did you kind of go about that?
Well, the two latest releases we did was one French cover album where we covered French songs, which was a pretty unusual idea. And the next one was a rock opera called Beloved Antichrist. So me and Christopher sat down and said, hey, let's go back home. It's time to make a normal album. What we were trying to do was not recreating the past, but we were trying to sort of capture the core, the essence and the spirit of those songs from the area around Lemuria and Sirius B, those albums, and take that into 2021 where we are today. That's what we were trying to do.
No worries. And did you guys also think when you were doing this approach that it would be a great way to kind of draw in some new fans? I mean, you got a new fan in me now, so
yeah, there you go.
Definitely worked.
Well, we basically we do what we want to do, and we hope that some people will have the same taste as us. You know, when I hear that we were trying to make hits, it's not like we deliberately sit down and now I got to make a hit song now, but we try to create it pretty straightforward this time, without being boring. Still being Therion, little weird,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, I can tell you for sure the album is far from boring.
Thank you.
I absolutely loved it. Certainly, I've noticed it's gotten praise from a lot of critics and fans.
Yeah, it's fun. This time, fans and critics seems to be united in this, Otherwise, it's a very big mix between what people thinks. One critic can say an album is great, while a fan say, oh, I'm so disappointed, and vice versa, But this time they seem to be very, very pleased, and we're happy for that.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. So I take it because, 2020 were a year I think we'd all like to forget sooner rather than later. So were you creating this album during the lockdown?
I would say around 90% of the album, yes. From the writing to the recording process. I mean, we started to write since we're living in different countries. I live in Spain and Christopher lives in Malta. So we started to write, online, so to speak, and send files to each other. What do you think about this? Can we do something here? Blah, blah, blah. And I have a song, listen to this. And that's pretty cool, that's a pretty normal way to work these days. But, and since Spain, for example, we had such a strong restrictions in the beginning of the pandemic. I could go out with the trash and I could go to the supermarket. That was it. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
oh my
it was
God.
like a war zone, And so this home studio, I didn't have anything else to do. So I just wrote and took a break for Netflix and wrote, And Christopher did the same. So we had a bunch of songs, The biggest problem was to pick out what songs that would fit for this album. And the leftovers are not leftovers because they are bad. They are leftovers because they didn't fit exactly here. And then we recorded the album in, I think, let me see, I wrote this up because I know you would ask. 1, 2, 3, 6, 8 different countries. Yeah.
8 different countries?
Yeah. We recorded in Germany, Finland, Sweden, Spain, Argentina, Malta, United States, and UK.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But with the technique today, it works. The thing that the only thing you really lose is the direct conversation you can have with the producer in the studio, and why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? So this time it was only up to me.
No, wow. So am I right in thinking that it was all done via like online communication? Did you actually physically meet in the studio?
No.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I was alone with a Spanish sound engineer, very good guy. That was it. And I had the backgrounds that I should sing, so.
That's really so. It came to like, I suppose it came to like the vocals, the vocal tracks, and getting them together. So how did you already kind of have in mind who was going to sing on which track?
Well, some songs, are when I write a song, I might think of this should be a guy or this should be a woman or a soprano or a whatever. But then I send it to Christopher, and he has a totally different image of it. And so we're trying to compromise, but of course it's his band. He created it, so he has the last word. And looking at his past, he did many right things, so it's okay. And it's often good to give stuff to other people to look at, because when you do your own stuff, you get pretty home blind, if you know what I mean. It's good to get inputs from other, home blind. I don't know, yeah.
That's a new. I can work with that.
Yeah. So that was it. And I mean, if we have a song and we agree that we should have somebody that sings here this and that way, and we don't have that voice in the band, we bring in somebody who can do it. And that I think is pretty unusual for a band. We don't have those egos that we have to do everything ourselves,
Nah, of course. We got Marco Hitala did a great job on. Excuse me if I mispronounce this. Tuanella.
Yeah, that's how I pronounce it. I can't pronounce it myself. It's a Finnish word,
yeah.
That song has a pretty funny story to it, because Christopher sent me that song, the demo.
Right.
And he wrote in the mail that I'm not sure if I like this song or not.
Okay.
And I told him, man, for once in your life, listen to me. This is great stuff. It's a keeper. Let's do this, And for once he listened to me, and I'm happy for that.
That's great. Well, it's a fantastic song. It's a fan.
Yeah, I love it.
And actually, I've just come to think, because you were given where were the choirs recorded?
In Israel.
Oh, Israel.
Yeah.
Wow. How did you find that choir?
Well, we were on tour, on the Beloved Antichrist tour, and I think we ended the tour in Tel Aviv, Israel. And before we got there, a girl contacted us and said, I'm leading a choir here.
Yeah.
Can we come on stage with you for a song?
Fair enough, yeah.
And we were like, are you good? Yes. And okay, come up with us on Rise of Sodom, we told her.
Yeah.
And they did, and they were just blowing us away, It was great. Right. So we invited them for the album, and she, the girl that contacted us, her name is Noah. She's leading the choir, and she's also a fantastic singer. So she sings on the album as well.
So speaking of lockdown, COVID, so as well as recording the album and recording stuff, what have you been kind of doing to help sort of pass time, or just to keep some kind of normality in a way?
Well, from the beginning it was almost a little exciting, because you didn't understood the seriousness in this, But here in Spain we had in the beginning a total lockdown. You could go to the pharmacy, of course, and you could go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
And you could go to go out with the trash. That was it. Okay. And only one person in the family could go out. You couldn't go out and do it together. But, that got boring after a while. So thanks God I have my studio, my home studio, where I'm calling from now. And that was kind of a lifeline for me.
Okay.
Because I was just sitting here writing and writing and writing, not only for Therion, for other stuff too. And I do backing vocals for other bands. So I try to keep myself busy as possible. In a pandemic, it's good to have a good hobby.
Oh, absolutely. Or, you know, or just having something or someone to focus on.
I also got into a lot of series on Netflix, you know. I think many people did that. Me too.
Okay.
I'm starting to see this series that everybody is speaking about that I don't have a clue, and now I'm catching up on it, you know, so.
I think Netflix was quite a bit of a distraction for a lot of people. Is there any particular series that you got into or?
Well, right now I'm looking at a series called, what's it called? I just finished all the episodes of Vikings, and now I'm into, it's my home, you know? So, and now I'm into a thing called Snow Blaster. It's about a train.
Okay. Sounds interesting.
I think it's called Snow Blaster. It's about a train that the Earth is post-apocalyptic, and the survivors are going around the Earth in a train that has to be rolling all the time, you know.
Sounds interesting.
Cool. Yeah.
Something that's never been done before. What's mental health awareness like in Spain?
Well, I think Spanish people in general are. I was thinking when this pandemic came with the distance and everything, because they hug and kiss everybody, you know, and they are very physical, and for them to not be able to do that, it's got to be a total difference from how they are used to do it, you know.
Mm.
But and I know a lot of people that had COVID here also.
Jeez.
Luckily, all of the guys that I know, you know, didn't die. They came back.
Well, that's good. I was just speaking
to the singer of the band Heat, if you heard about them. It's a melodic band.
I love that band.
We hang around because he lives in the same community here.
And
okay. He caught it.
Hey.
So he was like feeling a little cold, and all of a sudden when he was eating, it didn't taste anything, nothing.
Oh, jeez.
It was like firm water. It didn't have a taste at all, and it was COVID.
Oh.
But it didn't get worse than that.
Oh, I hope he's recovered now, though.
Yeah, he's fully back. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I love the band Heat. So actually, I was actually going to ask you, are there any bands or artists that you've been listening to lately that you think we should be keeping an eye out for, or do you have a favourite at the moment? I know this is every music lover's dreaded question.
Well, yeah, I listen to a lot of classical metal bands like Judas Priest and Alice Cooper, like that. But if you're going to check out a good new band, pretty new band, it's a band from Tunisia called Myrath that I love.
I love Myrath.
Yeah.
They are fantastic, aren't they?
Absolutely. I really adore them. So that's a band I can really tip my hat for.
I'd love to watch them live. I bet they're amazing live. I've got a couple of questions because one of my other team members is a huge fan of Therion, and he wanted to know, what is your favourite song to sing live?
Oh, that's a good question. I think when we go into Sodom and Gomorrah, for example, the rise of Sodom and Gomorrah.
Okay.
It's not the most difficult song to sing, and it's not the most challenging song to sing, you know. But to do it live with the reaction of the audience is such a kick in the butt, you know.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, so it's you get this fantastic adrenaline rush, you know, when everybody sings along, and you get that energy wave from everybody. That's really cool.
That's awesome. And what does he also wants to know, what does Leviathan mean to you as an album and a word?
The word is a sea creature. It's a monster, you know. it's nothing much more than that. It's a cool word. But the album for me right now means everything. That's what I'm living right now. And I can't wait until this is over so we can go out and tour with it, you know?
I'd love to watch you go. I mean, like I said, this album's my first real experience with you guys. Like, and if it's as epic as it sounds on the recording, I can't wait. So which songs from the new album are you looking forward to playing live the most?
I'm looking forward to Tuonela, the latest single. Yeah, that's gonna be fun to do. And also, I want to do a song that I like very much is Nocturnal Light. I hope we will do that live.
Yeah.
It's very filmic that song. It's cineastic feeling.
That's a good one. I also like, again, excuse me for mispronouncing this, Die Wellen der Zeit.
Die Wellen der Zeit. That's German.
Yeah, I absolutely love that one.
Yeah, it's written by our bass player, actually. He did a great job.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job. I mean, like, it's not often nowadays it's very rare that songs, like, cause actual chills. But for me,
it's great.
This one, I
remember getting the demo from him. I was like, wow, this is really good, you know.
And just one last thing. Do you have a message for fans, listeners?
Well, I hope you like the new album, everybody. And I can't wait to get to Holy Ground, UK again to play for you. It's always a blast to be there.
Thank you so much, Thomas. This has been an absolute pleasure.
My pleasure.
Subscribe. Subscribe.